Well, it's that time of year again. October. The best month out of the entire year. Today's game is a very special game, to me at least. This is Doom 3 for the Xbox. Doom 3 was originally released for the PC back in 2004, and was later ported to the Xbox a year later. The box that we're looking at here is the Limited Collector's Edition, which comes in this really nice metal box. I really wish they would keep on doing this in games nowadays, because I love collecting special editions and all sorts of stuff like that. They just look awesome when they're sitting on your shelf. Some of you might be asking, how does Doom 3 compare to the original Doom? Well, the original Doom was more like a run and gun style of game. You didn't really care about the story, and to be quite honest, there was barely a story at all. But it worked in Doom because the gameplay was so good and it's so awesome to go back to even to this day. Doom 3, on the other hand, has a little more emphasis on story. That's not to say that there's not as much gameplay because, well, there's a ton of gameplay in Doom 3, but they definitely tried something new with Doom 3. They definitely went for a little bit of an experiment. You see, it's not much of a run and gun game anymore, which there still is plenty of that, but the gameplay is definitely slower, which personally I do enjoy. I love the fast-paced action of the original Doom, but man, I love it when games are just a little bit slower. You can already tell from this game that they tried to make Doom a little scarier. Because, let's be honest here, no one was scared by the original Doom or Doom 2. But there were horror elements into it. You could see the horror elements in it. So, it's kind of cool to see what they did with Doom 3. I mean, with the whole satanic thing that Doom has revolved around for, well, since the beginning, the foundation for a horror game was definitely there, but they didn't really do anything with it up until Doom 3. Let's quickly talk about the atmosphere and setting of the game. The game, obviously, if you've played Doom before, takes place on Mars, which, if you've played any video game or seen a movie that has Mars in it, you know that something sketchy is going to go on. There's a whole project going on that has to do with teleportation and extra dimensions and alien artifacts, which is actually a very interesting way to go about the story. I actually really do like the story in Doom 3. The atmosphere in Doom 3 is spot on. As you can see though, Doom 3 is a very dark game, which I think complements the atmosphere. I really do enjoy the darkness in Doom 3, even though you could argue that it is a bit too dark. This also brings me to a point that a lot of players always complain about, is that you're not able to use a flashlight and a weapon at the same time. Personally, I never thought this was that big of a deal. I actually kind of liked it. It added something to the game.
Huh? No, please. You must let me get this communication out. They have to be warned while there is still time. I can't let... You don't know what I've seen. You can't possibly understand or comprehend. The devil is real. I know. I built his cage.
I'm getting abnormal readings here. This is bad.
Oh, God!
We can't hold these levels. We're losing it!
Help us!
But I could see how that is very annoying for other players. I mean, let's be honest here, when you're surrounded by enemies and you're in the pitch black, you're not going to always want to switch to the flashlight and then switch back to your machine gun. It's just not all that convenient. To those people I usually say, just turn up the brightness. I mean, if you really have to mod the game to have a flashlight and a weapon at the same time, you're not really playing it the way that it was intended to be played, but that's just a personal thing. The atmosphere in Doom 3 is complemented by the darkness because you get this feeling of, well, for lack of a better word, doom. Let's talk about the soundtrack of Doom 3. If you're familiar with the Doom series at all, you know that it's heavily influenced by heavy metal. Bands like Metallica, Slayer, and Pantera were huge inspirations for the music. There were even times where they would just take a guitar riff or take a drum roll and put it into the game. Now, Doom 3 went for a little more of an atmospheric soundtrack, so you're not really going to hear all the heavy metal and all the screaming guitars and all that stuff. You're going to hear mostly just ambience, which sets the mood perfectly. But I will say that the main theme is still awesome. Like in BioShock and System Shock and Dead Space, Doom 3 has audio logs, which are well acted, phenomenal to listen to, and they give you the chills.
The elemental phase deconstructor is fully operational, and the research data we have gathered so far is very impressive. Unfortunately, we had a terrible accident last week. Research Assistant Patterson was calibrating one of the quark emitters in the chamber, and witnesses say he appeared to see something. It's almost like something was talking to him, and he backed right into the particle beam. It was not a pretty sight, as it took off the backside of his head. He lived a few minutes, although I'm not sure you could consider that living, but they say his eyes rolled back and forth, and he was trying to talk.
I mentioned at the beginning of this video that the environments are pretty cool. Well, it is pretty cool when you get to walk on the surface of Mars. I'm surprised my eyeballs aren't popping out of their sockets like in Total Recall. You also get to go to hell in this game, and hell looks amazing in this game.
Welcome to my domain. Behold the shape of things to come. The time has come for the forces of hell to escape their prison and drive mankind into darkness.
Lastly, I want to talk about the enemies of Doom 3. Now, most of the enemies are pretty similar to the enemies that you'd find in the older Doom games. Obviously, they have new looks to them, which are very well done, and most of them have these little intro cutscenes, which I think are done really well. My favorite being the Hell Knight. They add in some new enemies, but most of the enemies are the same from 1993, which is fine with me because, well, those are the enemies that define Doom. And that'll do it for today's review. This is easily one of the best horror first-person shooters that you'll ever play. And if you think this game looks cool, I'm telling you to go try it out. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in another video.